Hey, John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got this is a long email, so if you don't like long emails, oh, you're kind of shit out of luck, aren't you? But I think this is an interesting fiasco at work, so I thought this was a good one to read here, and it's kind of an interesting story. So I'm not going to say the name here, although the story will probably identify the person, but I haven't been told to keep this anonymous, so I'll do my best to walk the line. Anyway, this email says, "Hello, I love what you do, and it looks like you've been able to grow Simple Programmer very well. That's a huge accomplishment. Thank you. I have a lengthy story to share that is very unfortunate for myself mainly." You get a ton of emails, so I'm sure you don't remember the last one I sent a few years ago. I mailed you regarding dead-end jobs. You answered it via a YouTube video. Thank you for that. Cool. This is a good way to get me to answer a question. Now I'm going to get like 100 of these. All right. I still work at this dead-end job for now, but I was nearly terminated for the first time in my life. This guy's a good storyteller. To me, this would be failure with a capital F. Probably about 6 months ago, I was pulled into another group within the company that was run by a father and son team. The father hired his son as a contractor. Okay, I can see where you're going with this. This is not going to end well. I can tell you this already. I have always had a tenuous relationship with both of them. You are such a good storyteller, man. This is really getting interesting here. A little backstory to give you events leading up to April. A little more weight. The father once told me that I could not cut it in commercial software development and I should go do something else like teach. I was teaching a newbie how to structure a couple of, I think I need to get the voice for it. I was teaching a newbie how to structure a couple of database tables. I figured it made sense to use a natural key rather than a surrogate key, and we designed it that way. The father checks in on us and begins to heavily insult my approach. "That is incredibly elementary. The right way to do it is to use an auto-incrementing integer as the primary key." Mwahahaha. The mwahaha was mine. He then turned around, walked away with his arms outstretched as if he had won a race and declared, "And I'm right? No arguing with me." The son, who was a PHP developer turned .NET, insisted on telling me how to write my code and to fix my bugs. Every chance he got, this was annoying me as well as frustrating. Experience-wise in .NET, he would be a junior and I would be mid to senior. He has 1 year in .NET and I have 9-ish in .NET. He used to half joke that he has 20 years experience as a developer. He's 31 years old. Again, just annoying, nothing major. There was an instance in which the son laid into our only junior developer in an email for suggesting a change to the architecture of a project. They both tended to treat me as if I was fresh out of school. Again, just another annoyance to add to the pile, I guess. Okay, so in April, I believe that both me and the son engaged in a conflict via email that affected me as well as him. I expect it affected him. I cannot prove it. He told me to fix a bug in my code and told me exactly what to do to fix it. I had already figured out how I was going to approach it and proceeded to fix it the way I figured was best. I emailed him and the lead that it was fixed and then added 2 sentences that I regret. "If I want your advice, I'll ask you for it." I agree that I should not have said that. His response was fierce. He set the tone with, "Stephen, let's set some things straight," and went on to tell me what we will and won't do in our group. He also told me that my code is bad and that it seemed like I had a personal and professional problem with him, as well as other things, but I hung on to those things. So I reply back that I do have a problem, but that we need to work together professionally. I go on to describe that I leave the room sometimes to regain my composure and that I sometimes put my headphones on. Then I then say something to the effect of, I bet you don't treat the other lead that way. I've never threatened anyone or used profanity. They yanked my lead role the next day without telling me. I found out from the junior developer. A week later, I was called into HR's office and issued my first and final written warning for sending an unprofessional email. I was given the lead role back the day after meeting with HR. Luckily, I am one of the strongest developers there with a decent amount of experience. They told me that they cannot afford to lose me. The situation has blown over, and that I'm in the clear. The final written warning will never leave my file. That happened in April, and everyone has since improved their behavior in the office. Thank you. So, that was my dramatic reading of this very, very enthralling story. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to respond to this, but I will, well, I'm going to follow up. I'm not going to read this part of the email, but I'm going to give you some backstory. So before I'd flagged this email to do a response, and I got this email from the gentleman who told us the unfortunate series of events in his life, and he said that he had been in a psychiatric hospital for the past 3 days for major depressive disorder and was discharged today. He said he kept going around in circles trying to figure out what to do, as he's never been in trouble for anything, and felt like a loser and a failure for not handling better, and felt like he let himself down and his family and livelihood and put his career in jeopardy and all this stuff, right? The doctors called him angry email guy. He acknowledges that he is angry email guy, and maybe he should have a nickname like that. And he says that the truth is that they're both wrong and stuff. So here's the thing, right? I'm not going to read the whole email, but and he said that he reached out to .NET Rocks and Hanselman and all this stuff, and all the celebs, you guys. But here's the thing. Okay, I don't want to use. I'm going to say Bob because I don't want to use your name here. I almost said I don't want to use your name here and then said your name. But so Bob, here's the thing, Bob. You're just taking things too seriously. Honestly, this is your only problem. Like, you have the insight. You see, you called yourself angry email guy, right? You went, you got admitted to the hospital over this issue, and it's not that big deal. It's really not a big deal, right? Like, and it's not just this issue, right? The whole thing is that you're just taking your job and yourself too damn seriously. It's not all that fucking, it's just a job, man. Like, it is not, you're writing code, dude. Like, it's not life or death. Like, no one's saying, like, you could go get another job, right? You live in America. Like, if you can pick up a welfare check. Like, like, your family's not going to starve, like, you're not going to, like, lose the family honor and then get stripped of your coat of arms or some shit like that, right? It's just a job. It's just a dude with the nepotism hiring his son as a contractor. They're both assholes, pushing their weight around. Like, you should have expected that in this environment, right? You did get onto a team where a father hired his son who was clearly not qualified as a contractor, and this kid is trying to prove himself. Think about this situation, right? The kid is trying to prove himself to his dad, who he's living in his shadow, right? The kid knows that he's not qualified for the position, that he just got hired because his dad hired him. He's living in his dad's shadow, right? So what is he going to do? He's going to be pushing his weight around, trying to prove himself to himself, to his dad, to everyone around, that he is here on his own ability, not because his dad. So you've got that going on, right? You got to expect a whole crap load of stuff to happen, right? And then you've got your situation, right? You've got conflict with both of these people. Just get out of the situation. Just, get out of this job. Or I'll give you two options. Either get out of this job or treat it like The Office, right? Either you're going there because it's a fucking sitcom and it's funny and it's hilarious and you just don't know what kind of crazy shit is going to happen next, and this is just going to be funny, and no matter what happens you're going to just laugh it off and be like, oh man, I got to tell you what happened at work today and this is funny, and you really don't take it to heart. If you can do that and just be the angry email guy and like you're just a character in the sitcom and this is just the craziest shit and you're getting paid to like be entertained every day by this, cool, do that. That's fine. Take it, be lighthearted, jovial about this, right? Or you quit the job. But if you got to choose one of those things, you know, at this point, because you're just taking things too seriously, right? Even this whole incident, screw it, big deal, right? What the hell? In the long run of things, like you have a choice right now, Bob. You can either make this a defining point in your life where things went down the shitter, and your life became bad and horrible and all this stuff. This is where I lost my mental health. This is where I had that mental breakdown, and just, oh, if it wasn't for that day when I sent that one line in that email, right? You can make it that if you want. Or you can just let this blow over and just be like, man, people screw up all the time. I don't screw up very often, but I fucked up bad that time. Big deal. Who cares? Not a big deal, right? You can make it that if you want. It's up to you. It's how you're gonna treat this situation. So yeah, so and how you're gonna move forward. Don't take this stuff too seriously anymore. Don't take life too seriously. Don't take your job too seriously. You know, we're all monkeys in suits, right? Hammering at the keyboard. What are we even typing? What are we even doing, right? We're making crap, right? So we're building software that goes on some stupid device that lets us play games, right? Or text each, or look at political crap on, you know, when we're supposed to be working or engaging with real people in the world, right? It's all silly. Like, all of this is just silly, right? I mean, think about it. All of business and technology and all this, it's just silly, right? Aside from like putting, you know, plants into the ground and killing animals to eat and building shelter, everything else is just silliness that we've added on top of life, honestly. Right? I'm being, you know, facetious here, but I'm halfway serious. Like, this is why we shouldn't take all this stuff so seriously, is because it's not really that important. Like, relationships and living and eating and breathing and having shelter, those are important. All the other stuff is extraneous, so don't take it so seriously. So I know that's easy to say, but you need to just, you know, take a chill pill there. Take it down a notch, right? Because obviously, you know, and you know this, right? Because you're able to joke about this. You're able to have the perception to see, even though you got admitted to the, you know, whatever, who cares? But anyway, that's my advice. I think you just need to, like I said, either take it as a sitcom and this is going to be funny and you're just going to chill, or just get another job, because you know, I'm not going to go back and give you a play-by-play of where you screwed up, because I don't really think you screwed up that bad. I think the only screw up that you did was just taking this whole thing too seriously the whole time, and just letting this stress you out, and letting this worry and letting ego get into this, and worrying about the whole issue and who was right. And none of that should be serious. It doesn't matter. Like, just, you know, that's it. And there we go. So anyway, that's all I got to say. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.